Hello, welcome back to Burtopia Podcast. I'm joined today by none other than Jenna Burt, my sister.
Hi.
We have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we're just going to roll with it and see what comes out. So, how you been, sis?
I've been good. Just working and going to school now, getting ready to get back into that.
How is your new job? I feel like I haven't talked to you much about that.
It's actually been really good. Nursing home life is,
Always exciting.
yeah, especially for aides, because I'm a nurse aide, so that's what I'm doing there. It's actually really nice. It's a really big facility. Newer. Well, it's not newer. It's been around for quite some time, but they're doing a lot of new renovations to it, making it this new modern Dublin idea.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Good old Dublin.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What have you been up to?
Just working, taking care of little boy, spoiling Brittany as much as I can. But mostly just getting by, hanging out, just living day to day.
I feel that.
Not really aiming for anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So how are things with you and Jake?
Things are really good, actually. It's like the first relationship that hasn't been red flag central, I should
Right.
say.
Nah.
So it's really nice.
He comes from a good family, so
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was gonna be all right. I still have to give him shit though.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Well, that's good. So we covered work, school.
School. Yeah. So I'm back into the nursing program at Columbus State.
That's good.
Yes, I start in January. I won't know exactly what my schedule is going to be until about halfway through December, because that's when we schedule classes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So by then I'll know, and then work will have to work with me with that. But yeah, I think I have like 8 classes left, and I'm an RN.
Nice.
Right.
It's pretty dope.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
Then you can start taking care of all of us old fucks.
Right?
Like, seriously. I cannot wait to start my disability claim. It's going to be great watching them look at all of the damage I've done to myself over the years.
Oh, wow, sir.
Right? Like, my goodness. Yeah, so I like this. I like my backdrop.
Yeah, it's really
It's
nice.
a lot of nerdy stuff that Brittany and I have collected over the years. And I think that when we get our designated stream room, I definitely want to keep a backdrop very similar to this. I like this.
Yeah, it's a really nice wood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't like an IKEA.
Yeah, but it just looks clean.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a couple of things I can point out. But, I mean, yeah, it looks
Yeah.
clean. But I built it myself. I mean, it's IKEA, so I didn't really build it. I put it together myself. Which, if anyone's done IKEA furniture, knows that that's a feat.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, I was really surprised when we went to the book loft that you picked out a poster.
I know, right? I was looking at some books,
Right.
and they seem interesting, but I just can't commit
Right.
to like buying a book without
Knowing you have the time to read it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And also knowing that I'm going to enjoy it, because if I go and just buy it, and I'm like, all right, this is cool, and I start reading it, and I'm like, I'm real
Yeah.
iffy when it comes.
My
to
thing is that reading makes me really sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
And so Brittany and I, after we came back from the loft, we went into the room, we both laid in bed, and we put on some music on the TV. And then I'm sitting there, I'm reading, and then I'm just like... And then I wake up and I look over, and she's on the other side. Like,
Yeah.
we both just, ow!
Because you're just reading, and then you just start blinking, and it gets slower
Yeah.
and slower.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
Your eyes keep moving across the words, but you're not reading anymore. You're just the movement's there, but nobody's reading.
My favorite
anything.
is where like you get to the second page and you're like, what? Did I just
Wait,
read?
What happened? See, what I always like to do is I'll flip to like the next chapter, and I have my finger there, so I know how close I'm getting.
Right.
Because I always like to stop at the end of a chapter, but I couldn't. I kept falling asleep. I'd like read half a page, and I'd be right back asleep, and I'd wake up, and I'd read like maybe a page or two, and then I'm like, oh, I'm out. Like I have to like if I'm going to read, I can't get comfortable. I can't cozy up next to a
Right.
fire or anything like that. Like, I have to commit.
Like, all
I
right.
have to, like, I am reading. This is the focus of all of my attention. I cannot be comfortable. I cannot be happy. I cannot be satisfied. I am reading.
Yes.
Because otherwise, it just puts me straight to sleep. And
Oh, for sure.
it's not like I'm not reading a great story. It's just something about sitting still for too long. I'm out. Out.
Probably because you work so hard.
Yeah.
You don't get to sit still and just.
Well, yeah, and that's like the Marine Corps too. It's like we work really hard, and there's a running saying that a Marine can sleep anywhere, and it's true. Like we'll just, we're not doing anything. I can get some sleep. I'm just gonna curl up right here, tuck my chin in my fleck, pull my Kevlar down, and just right there on the ground. Don't give a shit. Anywhere. The Marines sleeping under Humvees. Anywhere.
Dang.
Doesn't matter what time of day either. Be freaking melting outside. They'll find some shade somewhere. Be out.
Man.
But what's it called? It's like a disease too.
Narcolepsy.
Yeah, I thought it was that, but I didn't want to like say something completely different. People are
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, no.
What have you been Googling?
I need you to explain.
Right? I need this man search history now. I need it now.
But yeah, which president? We had a president that had it back in the day.
I have no idea.
But yeah, they used to have to wake him up, and like he'd be sitting there in like one of those big meetings that they would have, and he'd just be like, like, all right, sir, you need to pick your head back up.
Mr. President.
Yes.
It's time to go. Fuck
Yes. Yes.
I hate this shit. Have you been watching any of the impeachment hearing stuff?
I have not. No.
I mean, I want to believe that they're not wasting our time, but it just looks like they're wasting our time because it's everybody that they bring up there as a witness. They don't have any proof of anything, and everything that they say, when somebody asks for more details, they then backstep themselves. Mm. They're like, "Well, I didn't actually. I just assumed," and it's just really annoying because that's all. Every time I go into a customer's house, everybody's watching this, and I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, you guys are this like in this? Like, you guys are like fully committed to figuring out what's going on here, but there's nothing. There's no substantial breakthroughs. Nothing. It's just a whole bunch of people going up there saying, "I feel like this." And then going, "Okay, do you have proof that anything actually happened?" And they go, "I feel like this." And that's all it is. And I'm like, and maybe it's just the only times I've been watching it. Maybe there's been people who actually have had proof or anything like that.
But still, though.
But everybody just kind of sits there and goes, "I don't know. It just seemed weird."
Man,
that
guy.
What? It just seemed weird. And then, like, there's even people who are listening in on the actual phone call. And they're like, "Yeah, it just seemed weird." They're like, "But did he say anything?" "Nah, it just seemed weird." Like, okay. We're all just here wasting government money. Which makes me wonder, like, what is going on? Because usually whenever something big like this comes up, the government is doing something on the background that nobody's paying attention to. Like, this is a distraction, usually for something else. So I'm kind of curious as to what they're actually doing.
Right. Like, what is it
Like,
now?
what are you guys trying to pass? You know what I mean? Probably something with gun control, so they can enslave us all.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's like, there's one of my favorite memes. It's like, the only reason why after 270 some years your government wants to disarm you is because they're going to do something that you would shoot them for.
Right.
Right. And it's like,
Sorry.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb. Like,
Sure.
I don't know. I don't want to get into politics. That's not what we do here. But, yeah. So, I got a topic we can talk about for a while.
What's that?
If you are willing.
Go ahead.
Okay. So you and I grew up together until Jeremy and I were about the age of 6 and 7.
True.
And then after that, I didn't see you until I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
What happened to you during that time period?
Okay.
Because, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I've only heard stories.
So.
But never anybody explain everything in chronological order.
Chronological order. All right. This is going to be fun.
So when I left, it was you, Mom, Dave and Jeffrey living in what I think was like a 2-bedroom apartment or townhouse. It was a townhouse. The townhouse where Jeremy and I got framed for spray painting that box truck.
Yes.
And where Jeremy ran into the pole saying goodbye to Amanda. Yeah.
Mom tells that story the absolute best.
I know.
It's so great.
Douche. Just straight
the
into
echo through the entire neighborhood.
I was in front of him. I was just running along. And I just hear, doom, turn around, and there's Jeremy just, staring at the sky.
Right.
Rung his bell something fierce. Like, it was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
But all I remember is we went and we spent a weekend with Dad, and then Mom sat us down and was like, how would you guys feel about living with your dad or staying with your dad for the summer or something along those lines? And we're like, yeah, that'd be great. And so we spent the summer with Dad, and then Dad sat us down at the end of summer and was like, hey, what do you guys think about living with me forever? And we were like, yeah, I mean, that's cool.
Right.
Because, with Dave being there, everything was about Jeffrey.
Yes.
Everything was always about Jeffrey.
Everything.
Yeah, you, me, Jeremy. Well, you were pretty young at the time, but I know Jeremy and I, we weren't allowed in the house. We got home from school, it was go outside. Mm-hmm. Go away. And then that's when I, really fell in love with Harry Potter, because, I felt like Harry Potter. I was not allowed in the own house. I was like, Jesus. Ugh. But I always had Jeremy. And so Jeremy and I would go and, we would get in, normal kid shenanigans. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We were doing the same thing that all the other kids in the neighborhood were doing. Because they had those bushes with those blueberries or whatever, whatever they were. I don't know if they were actually blueberries. I never ate any of them.
Good.
But we would take them and we would throw them against the siding of the house because they would splatter and they would make art. All right? It was art.
And it's just little berries. You can just spray off the side of the boat.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
And then we would swim in the potholes because every kid swam in the potholes. They were big enough.
The same thing.
Yeah. And then there was one bush where we set up a slingshot in it. So we would sit in the bush and we would fill it with berries and we would slingshot them. And a couple of the kids thought it'd be a good idea to slingshot them at cars. I knew better.
Yeah.
One of those kids may or may not have been Jeremy. I can't remember very well. But it may have been. And then I got bit in the face by that dog.
Which dog?
Oh, no, I got bit in the arm. Yeah, because Mom told me to go see her neighbor. It was the guy who had the weeping willow behind his apartment. And he had a dog.
Okay.
Mom was like, hey, go talk to whatever. And she was like, ask him if I can get a cup of sugar. And I go over there, and there was another kid in the neighborhood, I can't remember his name, but he used to go to that dude's back door every day and terrorize his dog through the screen door.
Oh.
And so that dog wanted to fuck a kid up. Wanted to fuck a kid
primed,
up.
Ready
and
to
so
go.
this dude opens the door, he's like, hey, what's going on? I was like, hey, my mom sent me with a... And I went to hand him a cup of sugar, and this dog bit me right there.
Oh my god.
Still have the scar. It took me straight to the ground. And this dude snatched that dog up so fast and threw him inside. I was like, oh my goodness, are you okay? And I just... stood up, I panicked, and I ran home.
There's no sugar.
That dog did not want me to have his sugar.
Oh.
And so I went home. Mom was like, what the fuck? Are you okay? So I'm like, yeah.
Surprised Mom didn't go over there.
No, she was fine with it. She knew that, whatever. You know what I mean? That dog was terrorized by the kids in the neighborhood.
True.
And I looked about the same height. All right?
It's good enough to him.
Yeah, it's good enough. Mm-hmm. Word will get around town, not to fuck with, eh? I'll bite you little bitches. But yeah, so that neighborhood, we left, and then at that point, I feel so bad because it was just you.
It was just me.
Because I love Mom to death, but whenever she gets into a relationship with someone,
it's her and the relationship.
Yeah, she lets them take complete control over her.
Yep. That's exactly what I've been dealing with.
Right. And unfortunately, with some of your relationships, you emulated Mom with that, but...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But...
It's with learning.
Yeah. Thankfully, you're learning.
Exactly.
Fortunately for Mom.
Still going.
Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna have to beat somebody up on. But I don't want to beat him up. Yeah. He's a nice enough guy.
For now.
But I don't know. I think that she needs to be independent before she then tries to be dependent on someone. I think that as long as I've known her, which is my entire life, she's always been with someone.
Yes.
She has never been alone for as long as I can remember.
I've always described it as a crutch.
Except for when you guys lived in the apartment with one of her friends. But she was still, I think, dating
Angie,
Jason.
but she was still dating Jason.
Yeah.
And even before then, when we were living in Hilliard, she was still dating Jason. And that's when she took that break with Jason and started dating that Sonny guy, and then he ended up robbing her, and then...
Sonny, wait, so she was dating the guy that robbed her at the bar? Wow.
Okay,
So Mom never told me that.
Oh, I'll tell you the story real quick then.
Okay, hold on.
So, or do you want me to go all the way back?
I want you to go all the way back.
Okay,
If we
we'll
bounce
go all the way
around,
back and then we'll come back.
No one's going to be able to keep track of what's going on. You and I may be on the same level, but all right.
Okay.
So,
back then, so I was probably really little, still in diapers by then, and so from what I remember, in that apartment townhome, I remember having Christmas there, and I just remember it wasn't a good Christmas because it was Christmas Eve and me and Jeffrey slept in the same room.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
Jeremy and I had one room, and then you and Jeffrey had the other room.
Mm-hmm. Where did Mom sleep?
I think her and Dave slept in either a third room or up in the attic. No, the attic was like the play area / where Dave smoked his weed.
Yes.
So I do remember that. But I might be confusing two places, because I know they lived in a house at one point, too.
Yes, I lived in that house. That's the one off Tibet. And that one is the one that had an attic.
Right.
And eventually, my room moved up to the attic.
Right. So is that later?
Yes, that's after, because I was in kindergarten then.
Okay, so I think we left from there.
From the Tibet house.
Yeah.
So from the Tibet house, I had a room in the downstairs, and then there was another room that was Jeffrey's room, and Mom and David stayed in the attic.
Right.
And that's where he would, smoke his weed, whatever. And then, so after you guys left, it was just really weird, just the dynamic I feel with Mom and everything, because she was obviously more down and sad, so she was just trying to get through the motions. And then David started, he was like lying to Mom, going through all that, drinking more. And whenever Jeffrey would do something wrong, just like being a kid, draw on the walls or anything like that, it always came back to me, because I'm the bigger sister. You're supposed to be the one that's to guide this little boy, even though I'm doing my own thing, whatever.
You're like 6.
Literally, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, he's like 5. Like, he's a year younger than me. It's not like he's, an infant.
Right.
So I was like, all right, cool. I'm sorry. So then Mom started working nights, because David wasn't helping her out, and I forget what it was, like with something to do with something Mom had to do. And so she started working nights. So this is when she's going back to the bar and all that stuff. Well, David, started cheating on Mom and started lying to her and doing a whole bunch of, his own things. And so Mom would leave at night and he'd be there. And so he'd be drinking, whatnot, whatever it would be. And I'd be in my room minding my own business and like just playing with my Barbie dolls and everything. And he'd just come busting in there after some spell he had. And then it was obviously my fault. Everything was me. He'd take it out on me. He'd yell at me. I used to be terrified to go in the corner and I'd see shadows behind me, because he'd like walk behind me and like throw something at me, or like push my head into the corner or something like that, and like push it so hard it'd give you like a headache, like just try to press all that pressure on your head. And like he was just an awful, nasty individual. And so I hated whenever Mom would leave. I would like crawl under because we had like a bunk bed in my room.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd crawl and like push all my toys to the front of the bunk bed, and I'd just like lay underneath there and just like be playing with my dolls, just like, or I'd be reading a book or something just to try to, or I'd take JJ and we'd go next door over to our friend Dylan.
Right.
Yeah, he had a huge crush on me too.
Was that the guy with the little pee-pee that peeked through the fence that Mom makes fun of?
Yes, that's the inverted penis.
Yeah. The dude who, like, Mom's just sitting there, is like, dude! He's just pissing through their fence into our yard.
It was because I was standing out there.
Oh, yeah.
And because JJ was like, alright, I'm going to pee through the fence because I'm a boy. And he's like, I'm going to do it too. And I sat there because I'm just like, always in the mix. I just looked over at him. I'm like, where's yours? I just kept pointing at it. And Mom's like, why is she pointing at his dick? And like comes over to me and she's just like, oh my gosh, and like grabs me and takes me away, and she goes over to the mom and she's like, you know your son doesn't have a dick. And she's like and then his mom had to explain to her that he does, it's just inside.
Okay, I can see Mom now. Your son doesn't have a dick.
She's like, you know this.
Have you seen your son's dickless ball sack?
It's just balls. There's nothing there.
It's balls. And a second belly button. I don't understand.
Second belly button.
Okay.
Carrying on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the Tibet house. Eventually, I started going to school, because this was like preschool, and then I got into kindergarten, which started to get a little bit nicer. And
I think because of how rough things were at home, you threw yourself to schoolwork hard. Because nobody's going to mess with you if you're studying.
Exactly. That is exactly how I do it.
Nobody can be mad at me if I'm studying 24/7.
All the time.
Yeah.
If I'm reading, you don't talk to me. I'm doing my own thing. Oh, I have homework I have to do. Yeah, it's over here. Sorry.
Right? You learned quick.
Oh, I did.
Okay, so Tibet house.
Yes.
Started school.
And then, so this is the first breakup Mom had with David, because she found out now that he's cheating on me. I don't want to be with him. Mm-hmm. So we move in with Aunt Tammy. And this is when we lived in Hilliard.
Okay.
And I was going to Hoffman Trails. First grade.
Okay.
Yes. And so this is when we're living with Hayden, Haley, all them. So I'm like getting in the mix with all their whole family, and they're all
and that's
like,
when I lived in the condo, right? The one that Zach and Haley moved into and then sold not too long ago.
They moved into that one.
Right.
The second time I moved in with them. Trust me, it's a lot. Okay. They were living in a house at this point, but it was in like the Hoffman Farms like neighborhood.
Gotcha. So,
yeah.
Was Tammy with Tim still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is when they were like first together.
Okay.
So they just had Hayden
yep.
and all that. So yeah. So, and he was about to be starting school, or was starting school. No, that was when I was in third grade. Never mind. First grade. He's not in school.
I know.
It's all so scrambled.
I know.
Anyway, so I'm in Hilliard now, going to school. Everything's good and dandy. I'm starting to act out in school, I should say. Every time Mom would drop me off at school, I'd break down in tears, screaming, crying. And like my teachers were like, they'd have to sit me in the corner of the room, and they'd give me a special teddy bear and a rock. And I'd hold this bear, and I'd be petting the bear and rubbing the rock. And just be crying. And it was like their way of making me less anxious and like calming down. And it was definitely because I was traumatized. Every time Mom would leave, something bad would happen. So it was just like me, just like, no.
Yeah, you didn't like to be away from Mom. Like every time you felt left alone, you felt like something was coming to get you.
Yeah. And also every time she'd leave or like have to go away, that was when he would say like, she's not going to be coming back. Like, it's just me now. You tell your mom anything, like, I'll make sure you won't see her again.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I didn't say anything to Mom until I was, like, 8 years old. Yeah, and that was, like, a whole thing.
More coffee.
I know, trust me, it was really bad. But I didn't even open up to Mom first. I opened up to Mimo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then everybody thought she was crazy because it's Mimo.
Right. Maybe I shouldn't have opened up to her first.
But you knew that, like, if anybody said anything and then, like, she wanted to do something, you'd be like, I don't know, me mom's just crazy. But if it was Mom, Mom wouldn't ask questions, wouldn't get help. She'd go straight to the source and the motherfucker's getting stabbed.
I'll tell you when I told Mom what happened then. Because that was crazy.
Do you want anything else to drink while I'm up?
Nope, I still got coffee.
Still got coffee. I'm going to grab some Mountain Dew.
Okay.
You can keep talking.
Okay. But, yeah, so after that, Hilliard, and then we ended up moving back in with him. But it wasn't at Tibet.
Okay.
This time. So now we are living in this brown house it was a house. And it was in the north side of Columbus.
Okay, so like New Albany area?
Not that far east. It was
like Westerville, Dublin?
More central, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that house was in the ghetto.
Oh, okay, so like...
It's like downtown area.
Gotcha, so near, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, I can't think of exactly what road it was anymore, but... Because we only lived
near
there.
Weber.
Yeah, it was...
Near where like, Nana, Gage Cameron, all them used to live?
Yeah, because I went to... What school? Indian Springs.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. What school did I go to then? That's second grade. And so...
So much moving around.
I went to 13 different schools before I graduated.
There's only 12... You went to a new school every year. Every
single year. And I moved in between years.
I love you, sis.
I know. I'm so lucky I was good at school. I would have been behind for sure. Because I went between school districts and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So like everything is so different. Different
curriculums.
Yes.
You show up, you're like, well, everything I've done up to now is pointless. Because
exactly.
You guys are learning something completely different.
And Hilliard was way ahead. So when I went over to Southwest, and I'm like over there, I'm like, you guys are just now reading this book? Like I read this like last year.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I'm like, well, all right. Gonna do this paperwork real quick.
This is gonna be easy.
Easy A. But yeah. So we moved back in with him. Things were still the same. Still
Nothing
very
changed.
Toxic. Very.
Every time Mom would leave, you'd be mean.
Oh, of course. And at this time, we started getting cats. Which, if anyone knows, I don't like cats. I'm not that I don't like them, they're just not fond of me. I don't know what it is about me and cats, they just see me and they're like, alright, F you, and I'm like, cool, stay over there.
At least the bird likes you.
Yes, I love getting him, because he's great.
He's a little cutie, and he likes women, he just doesn't like dudes. Mm-hmm. Just like his dad.
Just like his dad.
Keep going.
But yeah, and so I was always in charge of cleaning the litter box. Which I don't know why. Like, I didn't even want these animals in this place, but okay. So, and his thing was that I didn't want to clean it. Plus, it was all the way in the basement. My room, me and JJ were still sharing a room upstairs. And I'm like, after school, I was just like, I'm going to do my schoolwork and read and play with my Barbies and whatnot. I don't even care about these dang cats. I don't even like these cats. And they they really don't. And they stayed outside for the most part. So most of the time we didn't even know that we had them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And he would always get on my case about that. And that was always something with him. Was that stupid litter box. Mm-hmm. But, yeah. What else happened? So then, me and JJ, he was like my buddy. My partner in crime. Like, we did everything together.
That's like Jeremy and I, because, like, I don't think Jeremy and I went through nearly as much shit as you did. And then to have JJ, spoiler alert, eventually you two get separated.
Right.
I'm really glad that you turned out the way you did. Because
everyone keeps saying that.
Everything was against you. Like, literally.
All the time.
Everything was against you. And you had every excuse known to man. Everything from, like, your health problems to bouncing around all this stuff. You had every excuse in the world to make yourself a victim and to just literally turn to nothing. And then to see certain people, not going to list names, who have been literally handed everything and let their life go to shit.
Right.
And and then to see Mom so torn up by it, and it's like, it just proves that strength comes from struggle.
For sure. You have to, because if you don't, then you're never going to appreciate the fact when things are good or when things are going in your favor. And you're like, wow, it could have been a lot shittier. Today I could have woke up and been on a couch and had to shower in someone else's bathroom and had to wait and do this. And clean this up because I was scared about something going on over here, or like it's just like that anxious blanket. Because when you're in it, I feel like you don't notice how bad it is.
Right, because you're just going through the motions. Your survival mode kicks in, and you're just like, I just need to get this done, and then I'll be safe.
And you're like, if I just let him yell at me and say whatever he needs to say, he'll be done eventually.
Yeah.
And then I can go back to doing whatever I was doing.
Right.
Which is sad to say as a kid. Like, you shouldn't have to think like that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it does end.
Right. Everything does eventually come to an end.
That's what I kept telling myself.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay, so...
So then after that, let's see. So he... This was about the time it started to come around the final straw. So I'm about to be coming into 3rd grade, and I'm about to be 8. So by this point, from birth until now, JJ and I have been in the same room.
Right.
So you can imagine, you obviously know how close you can be with someone like that. And, I mean, it was just so they got into a really big fight. A really big fight. And I remember David took us and we went to McDonald's. And
Who's us?
Me and JJ.
So no mom.
Mom wasn't there.
Okay.
And I don't know where Mom was. I don't remember exactly what... she might have went to work or something like that.
Right.
But we went to McDonald's, and he was sitting there with us. And I remember we were playing... Because we went to, like... It was a nice McDonald's.
It was like a play area and stuff?
It was huge. I think it was the one on, like, Easton.
Okay.
Where they have the huge... Like, all these things you can climb on. So me and JJ are just playing. And then we go to sit down to eat. And he starts talking to us. And he, like... starts asking me all kinds of weird questions about Mom. Like, basically trying to root out if Mom's doing some stuff on the side kind of thing.
Right.
And I'm just like, no, like, whatever. Like, let me eat my chicken nuggets, man.
Right.
And eventually, I guess something was said, and I don't know how I played a factor into it, but apparently I said something about along the lines of Mom doing something with some guy named Andy or something like that. I don't even effing know. Whatever.
Right.
So... comes back, he ends up blowing up on Mom about something, about that whole scenario, and then Mom leaves him again. We go to Tammy's again, and this is when they're at the condo, and
Gotcha.
I go back to Hoffman Trails at this point after leaving Indian Springs. This is the middle of 2nd grade, and then school year ends. I'm still there. At this point, I stopped seeing Jeffrey completely. I hadn't seen him in months, and it was really hard. Like, it was like losing a best friend. And, like, I just was crying all the time. Mom was crying all the time, and, like, it was really hard. And I remember, because for the longest time, I was always just, like, asking about you guys. And I'd always just ask, because I just wanted to know. Like, I just was so curious, and plus, I didn't fit in with everyone else, because I knew I looked different, I felt different.
Right.
I knew I wasn't, like... in, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was just always wanting that kind of connection to feel like I was a part of it. So it was just always weird with that.
Right.
And so then after that, we are now in 3rd grade. I'm at Hoffman Trails. School's still going good. I think we started at the end of 3rd grade. We started to see JJ again a little bit. Just little bits, though. Like, we'd go and, like, meet him and David at, like, to go eat. Or something like that. And it was always under his circumstances. Whatever he wanted. And if the moment Mom would say something wrong, or if I did something wrong, he's like, alright, we're leaving. Goodbye. Like, never mind. We don't need to do this.
Right.
And it's just, it would break Mom's heart. And I felt like, at that point, I stopped being a kid. Well, actually, honestly, a few years before then. But, like, at that point, I just stopped wanting to play and wanting to, like, engage in that imaginative part. Because I realized that this isn't life. This isn't how it really is. You know what I mean? It's sad. But it is. And I stopped believing in Santa. I stopped believing in a lot of stuff back then. Like, really early. Like, Mom would even be like, yeah, Santa's coming. I'm like, come on. I know you're Santa. Like, don't play with me. You've been asking me what I've been wanting all week.
Right. You gotta spread that shit out. It's too obvious.
I know. But
My 8-year-old detective skills are on point.
I swear I could figure anything out if I really wanted to.
Before the internet,
I'm
I
like,
could figure out anything.
I swear I'd just be sitting there and I'm like, all right. Like, Mom never told me I didn't have that. David wasn't my dad. Not until after everything, I told her that, you know, he did all these things to me. Like, he, you know, put his hands on me. He hurt me physically and mentally, emotionally, all that other turmoil and whatnot. And she's like, well, I just want you to know that that's not your dad. And I'm like, I told her, I'm like, I know. Like, I know he's not my dad.
Right.
And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm not stupid. One. Two, I can hear when you guys are arguing, and his thing he always would say is, she's not my problem.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. He's my problem. She's not my problem.
That's pretty obvious.
So I'm like,
by that.
Alright, there's something there. And just red flag after all that. And plus, I don't look like anybody. Except for sort of Mom.
Sort of Mom.
Well, I look like you and Jeremy. I can see it, sort of.
Right.
But, like, other than that, no.
Right.
So it's just always been a little weird. And then, so after that, Mom and I... What did I do for 4th grade? Oh! We finally got our first apartment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, me and Mom. It's just us. And it lasted for about a month. Wow. I don't even think it was a month, honestly. But, yeah. And then she met Keith. Yeah.
I never liked that guy.
Oh, I didn't either.
First time I met him, he didn't even get off the couch. And I was like, I get it. You're like an MMA fighter, trainer dude. But her 17-year-old son just walked in the door.
The least you could do is shake his hand.
I know, and I brought Casey with me, too.
Right. I remember.
We'll get to that story when we get
so
there.
this is at the apartment, and this is... Now I am about 9. I've told Mom. I've opened up to Mom about everything that happened. I've opened up to Meemaw. Aunt Tammy and all of them are starting to figure out, so they're all being really nice to me, being
Everybody's
like
real
real
protective.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. Like, why y'all give me all this extra attention?
Where the fuck were y'all years ago?
Literally, I've been ignored all this time. But yeah, and then so he comes in the picture. He brings his 2 kids.
Right, I remember that, and his son was a fucking nightmare. And I only saw that kid once.
He still adds me on Facebook to this day. I'm like, no.
No, go away.
No.
I know I'm a cute mocha woman, but go the fuck away.
I don't need it. I don't need it. No, but, yeah. So with that whole thing, at first it was rainbows and butterflies. It was just so sweet. And I never had a sister, obviously. I only have 3 brothers.
Right.
But I was like, this is awesome. I have someone that can brush my hair, and I can brush her hair, and we can do fun stuff together. And I started feeling like a kid again.
Right.
It was really exciting. And plus I had a little brother, which was kind of the same age as Jeffrey.
Right.
So I was like, okay, like I can kind of see that. He's nothing like Jeffrey, so it made it very hard.
He was very violent.
Very violent. He always was wrestling, always was fighting. He would try to fight with us, too. And, like, don't get me wrong, I can carry my own. But, like, and he was a little kid, so I would, like, punk on him all the time. But he would... Well, yeah, because, like, you'd be sitting there minding your own business, just watching some TV, and he'd come over, just right over your head. I'm like, oh, I'm about to rip your freaking head off your shoulders real quick. Whew. But, yeah, so... There's that, and so they started dating. It was alright, you know. And then they started drinking. And that's when I feel like Mom's drinking started from there till then, basically. Mm-hmm. Well, she drank before then, but it never was to the point where it is now.
Right.
Because then was where I feel like I started to see, okay, like, Mom's been drinking quite a bit, and she's not stopping.
Right.
So, yeah. So it was like every weekend after that, she would just be, they'd have a party, or like they'd just be them hanging out and whatnot. And at football, he was a huge Bengals fan. You can imagine when the Bengals lose what happens.
Which is pretty common.
Don't tell him that. But yes. Oh my gosh, he would break doors. He broke one of our TVs one time.
Nice.
Yeah, he just did not.
Just a regular Kyle.
Yes. Damn it. But yeah. And it escalated. It wouldn't stop from there. So he would get mad about the game, and then now his anger is going to fester into anything else that comes into contact with him.
Right.
Kids, mom.
Trash is full.
Yep.
Why the fuck you looking at me like I'm crazy?
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah.
And you come peeking out like, what's the noise? And
Right.
it's like, yeah, and I'm here taking care of your fucking random kid. And
Yep.
I can just imagine.
Oh, or like, once I started getting older, so about middle school time now, we lived in Hilliard, and we lived off Packard. So this by this point, I'm already at like my 8th school.
Yeah, I remember visiting this place, I think.
Yes, this is where you brought Casey. And,
So we've almost reconnected.
right, we're almost back.
there.
We're almost back. He would always wake me up out of my sleep. Because I'd always put myself to sleep because, like, y'all are loud and I can't handle that. Plus, I've already done my homework, read, and put myself... I've already showered. I'm done. Done for the day.
Okay.
And he comes in there, slosh, just starts, like, bang... Because I had a bunk bed at this point. Starts banging on the wood and starts, Jenna! What the fuck are you doing? And I'm, like, looking up and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Like, I'm just relaxing. He's like, you didn't do the dishes. And I'm like, they were done before I went to bed. And he's like, there's dishes in the sink. They would go eat something after everyone had already eaten dinner, and then put dishes in the sink, and expect me to come up out of my bed and go wash the dishes before. Are you kidding me? I'm like, just rinse them. I already washed all the dishes. It's 4 dishes in the sink, like 2 plates and 2 cups and like a fork.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? Just wash it. We already had a dishwasher. I was... He would do stuff like that all the time. Plus, he was very abusive to mom.
I figured.
Yeah. Like, the first instance that I almost called the police, but, like, at this time I didn't have a cell phone. No one, you know? This was back in those times.
Oh, that reminds me of a day, too. So, I'm going to backtrack it. I remember when we lived in that apartment that I was talking about before we moved to the house. And I remember Mom and Dave getting into a huge argument. And then I was on the stairs. And I was looking downstairs to see what was going on. And Mom looks at me and screams, call 911. So I run upstairs and I grab the phone. And as I'm dialing 911, Dave grabs the phone line and rips it out of the wall. And I look at him like, oh shit. And then Mom comes flying at him like a spider monkey. And then I run and grab Jeremy. And that's all I remember from that day.
Oh my god.
From that instance. But I do remember that part for sure.
I remember numerous fights with her and David.
Yeah.
I remember she chased him with a bat one time. I'm not even kidding.
No, but it was just something about him coming after me. Like, she found the strength to just shoot. And then I just ran. I grabbed Jeremy, and I closed the door. I locked it, and he and I think probably sat under the covers.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck else we were doing.
What the fuck? No, see, that reminds me of a story. It was me and JJ were snooping on Mom and David because they were fighting in the living room area. So, like, we come down the stairs. This is when we lived in the Brown house.
Yeah.
And it's like stairs like these, but,
right.
like, it opens up to the downstairs.
Right, right.
So, like, we're just at the top, just, like,
yeah.
thinking. And she just has this, it was like a wooden bat that we would just play with. And she's just sitting there running around the coffee table. She's like, I swear to fucking God, I'll beat your ass. I'm just sitting there like... I think we should go upstairs. This is not...
This is on a whole
You don't want to see this.
Yeah, go away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
that was just... Okay, Keith now.
Yeah.
So, and one of the first instances that I noticed... Because at this point, I never seen David put his hands on Mom. He always would assert his anger towards me. Or her. But he never would put his hands on her.
Right.
Me, I can't
It's
defend
probably because
myself.
she chased him around the coffee table with a bat once, and he realized that was a bad idea.
Yeah, she can defend herself. I can't. Right. Nor would I, because I don't know how to do that yet.
Right.
So, but with
Keith, on the other hand, fears nothing.
Exactly. He never touched me or like hit me.
Right.
But he just he just scared the shit out of me, because his voice was so deep and echoey, and when he's mad, like, oh, the whole world's gonna know about it, and I just wanted to, like, curl up into a ball and just roll away. And that's literally the best way I could describe it. Just roll away. But this instance, they were drinking at the apartment, and he, I forget exactly what it was, but he had grabbed her, and they fell onto the floor. And so I remember I heard that, and I, like, sat up. This is like dead of the night, and I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out, and I'm like, okay, so mom's phone, where's mom's phone? It's probably in her purse. Where would she put her purse? And I'm, like, sitting there, like, trying to, like, analyze everything, and I'm like, I'm just gonna look out the door and just make sure.
One shot.
Literally, I'm like, this is gonna be okay. So I'm like, I creep over to the door and I, like, open it and I, like, crack it and I, like, look out, and, like, my room, and then it was like the hallway was this way, and then there's, like, the bathroom, mom's room, and the living room was right here. They're in the living room, and you could see the TV light, like, casting out into the room, and I just seen her on the floor, and just him on top of her, just choking her, like, legitimately choking her. And I just remember sitting there, and, like, I just went cold, just instantly cold, and I just, like, swung open the door because I didn't know what else to do, and I just yelled.
Right.
And he just, like, lets go and looks up at me, and mom starts breathing and, like, gasping for air, and I'm just, like, staring at him like, what the fuck? And, like, this isn't coming out of my mouth yet because I don't know what the fuck to say.
Right.
He's just, like, looking at me, and then mom just jumps up, and then she just runs over to me, and then he, like, I don't even know what he did, because she just runs up to me, and she's, like, looking at me, and I'm like, are you okay? And I'm, like, freaking out, like, why are you walking now? You were just laying there. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, yeah. There's numerous stories with him, and the last story I will tell you, because this story is the best story, because this is when she left his ass.
Okay. I don't know if that means it's the best story, though. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't too.
Okay.
Anyway.
Names are getting added to a list now at this point.
Trust me, bub. Anyway, so after years of enduring with his family, which I could go on a whole tangent about how crazy his fucking family is, because they all, whew. Yeah, but so from there, it was another football night, and they had a huge party. It was like 4 of his cousins, all of his brothers, which he had like 5 brothers, and their kids, their friends' kids, everything. So, and at this point, I was reaching the point of, like, I'm fucking done with this place. I can't.
Right.
I'm done faking it for you guys, because at this point, that's all I'm doing. And so I was in my room, and I was just like, I think I was reading again. And things start escalating. And then I start hearing people leaving. Parties, like, ending because they're fighting and it's getting really bad.
Right.
So...
But nobody wants to step in their stuff.
Exactly. They're just like, we're gonna go home now.
Right.
So I open the door and I'm, like, just listening. Because this is now a routine for me. Right. I know what to listen for. I know when things are gonna get too...
violent. Exactly.
When I start hearing rustling, I'm like, alright, I'm gonna step out there and, like, make it known. There's kids. Like, let's stop.
Right.
Doesn't help. But, so, start hearing it, and I, like, poke my head out, and I'm, like, looking out there, and they're just standing in the living room just arguing, and I'm like, alright, cool. Normal shiz. Sad. But, and then after that, I had my phone in my hand already, because I was, like, this is the time, I have my own cell phone, right. I'm ready to go. I wasn't even wearing shoes yet. And then I looked over at mom, and I'm, like, staring at her, and for some reason, like, in my heart of hearts, I was just like, you're done. This is over. This has to be it. Because, like, this is every fucking weekend.
Right.
Every goddamn weekend. And I cannot handle looking at her and knowing that she just deserved so much better. And she could do so much better if she just had someone to do it with. And someone to help her. Or she should do it by herself. Which we all agree she should do.
Right.
But, yeah, so after that, I walked out into the living room, and she seen me, and I'm like, are you done? That's all I said. And she just like, yes. And she grabbed my arm and we both walked out the front door, no shoes on. I only had my phone. She didn't even have her phone yet. And he threw, I think it was a couple like beer cans and stuff at us.
Mm-hmm.
He hit her. He didn't hit me. And then we just took off. I just started running down the road, and we ran over to her friend Tammy's house, who was like a few streets away. So we stayed the night there. Aunt Tammy picked us up.
Right.
Moved back in with Aunt Tammy for the third time.
Right.
And from there, it was just... Now I'm in high school.
Right.
Things are starting to even out. Mom starts dating Jason. Literally not even a month after she dumped Keith. So there's that. And then, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I had... Because, like, I don't know what it was, but I always had this feeling, like, growing up that for some reason, Tina didn't want me to have anything to do with my mom. Like, for some reason, I had this feeling like I wasn't allowed to see my mom. And lately, Tina and I have been going into it, and I think it's because I'm starting to realize a lot of things, like as I'm getting older, and that people growing up were just selfish.
Yeah.
And everybody was using me as a means to get back at other people. And now that I'm growing up and I'm seeing all these things, people want to get mad at me because I'm giving them the judgment they deserve for the things they did to me as a child. Mm-hmm. And they think that because they did it so long ago and that they've changed who they are, that they deserve to be forgiven.
Right.
Which they don't.
Because what you did was wrong.
Because what you did was wrong. And you did it to not an adult that's standing here today. You did it to a child.
Who couldn't defend themselves.
Who didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is what you tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that everybody wanted to lie to me my entire childhood so that way they could use me against another adult. At what point do you stop seeing me as another human being who you can love and care for, and you just start seeing me as an object?
Like a game.
Yeah. And so, because of that, people now are not as big a part of my life as they think that they are. Mm-hmm. And that is because you made a decision a long time ago to not treat me as a human being. And so why, if you're capable of doing that then when I was a child, what makes me think that you wouldn't do it now that I'm an adult? So, unfortunately, people made decisions a long time ago that they don't know how to live with now. And that's something that I'm dealing with now. Is I'm realizing that there are some people I want to put the effort in to fix relationships with, and there's some people who I don't, because there's a part of me that cannot forgive them. And I can't explain why, and they think that I should just get over it, but I can't.
Right. Because
I was hurt in ways, and I've tried to forgive, and you've continued to hurt. So I'm going to go in, because at this point I've already committed, and the person knows who I'm talking about, and everybody knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, go ahead.
And they probably won't listen to this podcast anyway, because, let's be honest, they don't really care. But they might because your name's on it.
Right.
Which is something else that I'm going to get into, too. And this is probably going to, if they watch it and they watch it for this long, is going to warrant a bunch of phone calls, a bunch of people trying to bother me, a bunch of people trying to apologize and to change my opinion. And to that I say, don't. I don't care. Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time. Just, if you do make it this far and you are watching, know that this is how I feel, and I don't want to say it to your face, because I can't do it and not get angry. And I don't want to be angry anymore. So I'm choosing to just let it go, but I'm not choosing to forgive at the same time. I'm just letting it go.
And that's what happened to you. So you're more than welcome and allowed to make that decision.
So, and I know people want to tell me that, oh, that's not how it was. You're not remembering it right. Mm-hmm. You were a kid. That's not what we intended to do. I never wanted you to feel that way. You did.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm not sorry. Mm-hmm. You did this to yourself. You did this to me. Why do I have to be the one to forgive you when you were the one that did it wrong? And so, growing up, I'm going to run you through the same timeline that you just ran me through.
Okay.
But from my point of view.
All right.
So we left.
Right.
Right, and we moved in with Dad. And we had probably the best summer of my life, honestly. Because every day we would go to bed in a fan tent. And then when we'd fall asleep, Dad would take the tent, and the sheet would just fall on top of us because he needed the fan to sleep. Just like we needed the fan to sleep.
Right.
But we always wanted to set up our little wind tunnel blanket for it.
Oh, cute.
And so every night Dad would do that. And then we would stay up with him playing Crash Bandicoot. And it was like, it was amazing. And I feel really guilty talking about it right now. So sorry, but it was nice to finally have a dad, you know, especially being two young boys. It was nice to see what a dad is like, you know. And I feel bad because you didn't
Dad's
get
my
that.
dad.
I know. He's
As
great.
far as I'm concerned.
Fucking love him to death. And yeah. Then him and Tina started dating, but she didn't come around. She didn't come around until we started to get towards the end of our time at the apartment, where we lived in that studio apartment. There was a 1-bedroom, a living room, and then a kitchen. That was it. And Dad had like knives stashed everywhere because it was in the ghetto.
Yes, we still see it to this day.
Yeah.
Still drive
and he
past it.
worked at the shop underneath it. So his friend, I think it was Rob, owned the shop underneath it, and he fixed motorcycles, and he'd go upstairs, and he was in his house. So then he started bringing Tina around, and she bought us, I think, a PlayStation 2, like a PlayStation 1, so we can spend time with Dad. And like, she did a really good job. She started cleaning things around the house, and Jeremy and I were looking real confused. Like, why are you cleaning that? Like, what are you doing? You just leave it there?
That's what we do.
Yeah. What is this? Because, you know, living with Mom, she did all the cooking, all the cleaning, everything around the house. Everything around the house. Jeremy and I just kind of were like, stayed out of trouble. That was our only goal growing up. Stay out of trouble.
100%.
Mom did the laundry, Mom did the cooking, she did the cleaning, she did everything. Took us to all of our stuff, everything. Like, would always go above and beyond.
Yeah.
And then so... To us, it was weird. We're like, what are you doing, lady? Like, why are you cleaning stuff? Who is this lady? And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Dad sat us down, and after, we bonded with her. And then Dad was like, hey, like, her and I are dating. We are together. How do you guys feel about her moving in with us? And we were like, well, if she keeps cooking and cleaning, sure, why not? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, whatever. More food is cool, yeah. She's cool. Whatever, let's do it. So then we moved to Grove City, and we moved into a townhouse. And we go through like a cat, a crazy dog that wants to kill Jeremy and I.
Oh my God.
Whenever Mom and Dad weren't home. Yeah. Every time they left the house, crazy Sedona would try and kill Jeremy and I.
It's like, today's the day.
Yeah. As soon as Dad wasn't around, she was like, I'm Queen Bee. And you my bitches.
Oh.
And she would corner us because we had an ottoman. And she would corner us. And Jeremy and I would set up a pillow wall on the ottoman and would fight her back because she was trying to murder us. And would corner us on the ottoman.
Oh my God.
It got to the point where I was just punching her in the head to get through because we wanted to get upstairs where the door was. But we come downstairs to get a drink or a snack. She'd corner us, so we'd have to go together. We'd both have to literally fight her off with pillows and fists. And then we'd get upstairs, and she would just own the living room. Until Dad came home. And then he was like, all right, it's your living room now.
I pass over the ranks to you, sir.
But she was crazy. But I believe she gave birth to Sammy Boy.
Oh, okay.
So it all worked out, all right? It was a struggle.
She served a purpose.
Yeah, she served a purpose.
Oh, Sammy Boy.
Again, I believe. I could be wrong. Because I'm pretty sure we gave her to Roger. Roger was like, this dog's crazy. And then she got knocked up by the golden retriever next door and gave birth to Sam and another dog, Whole Shot. But I don't know whatever happened to Whole Shot. I don't know. I think he either ran away or Roger had to put him down or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
But he was basically Sam. Had the two different color eyes too.
Oh, really?
Except for he was a darker.
Golden.
Yeah, he was pretty much Sam, but he was dark. Like he had like dark gray fur. and like white patches, and then 2 different color eyes. But I believe they're opposite 2 different color eyes too.
So like they switched.
Yeah, like,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Aww.
But I digress. But Sammy Boy, best dog ever. And then we had a cat named Precious, and she lived in the basement. And when she wanted out of the basement, she would stick her hand under the door and just like, let me in! It was like shaking the door and like ripping the paint off of it from underneath, just scratching the underside of the door. Wanted out so bad. And she gave birth on Jeremy's chest.
Oh my god!
Because she got out once, got pregnant, came back. Jeremy's sitting there cuddling with her, and he just wakes up to her like, he's like, what? And there's this baby kid in front of him. And Jeremy's like,
there's stuff on me. There's fluids. I see sacks.
Yeah, this is freaking out.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So we lived in a townhouse. Then we moved to the duplex. In the townhouse, I met my friend Jake, who I went to his wedding about 2 years ago. Really cool dude.
Aww.
We still play video games every once in a while, though he hasn't hit me up in a minute. And then we moved to the duplex, and that's where I met Zach and Ryan. Well, I met Ryan through Zach, but that's where I met Zach, Gannon Deal, and I think that was pretty much it. And the rest of the guys I met through Zach, mostly. And then we moved to the house, and that's when I transferred from Grove City to Central Crossing, and there's where I met Casey, and then that's where Ryan and I got really close because he went to Central Crossing,
right.
and Zach still went to Grove City, and that's where I met Dakota, and Bryce, and Travis, and I met Jerry. But then Jerry and I didn't stay friends, and then everybody was friends with Jeff, and then I met Jeff, and then I found out that Jeff and Jerry were married. I was like, what?
Oh, what the heck?
Oh my goodness, it's crazy.
Small world.
Small world. But yeah, I used to pick on Jerry in math class because I sat behind her and I can't remember. I think it's Kirsten. It's either Kirsten or Kristen.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, well, she's married now. But yeah, she probably went with you in the girl day.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when you and Jerry and her all went shopping or something, yeah.
We went to the lingerie store.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I used to sit behind them and pick on them in math class all the time.
Nice.
And apparently Bryce was there too, but I don't remember. I felt really bad.
It's like, I'm sorry, Bryce.
Bryce is like, you don't remember the first year that we knew each other. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Honestly,
sorry.
same.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
But yeah, so let's roll it back. So at the townhouse, Jeremy and I shared a room. And then Mom and Dad had the other room. I'm just going to call Tina Mom now because
It's easier.
And then we moved to the duplex. And I was forced into the basement. I didn't have an option because Jeremy wanted the upstairs room, so Jeremy got the upstairs room.
Oh, I thought you wanted the basement.
It was, Jeremy wants the upstairs room. Are you okay with taking the basement? Well, it sounds like I don't have an option, so sure, I guess I'll take the basement. Right. I don't have to deal with you people.
Honestly, though.
Right? I just want to play my video games and be left alone.
I know. That's when I used to come over.
Yeah, and I would, literally, I'd show you how small I was, and I'd hide under the beanbag. Like, I can hide under the beanbag chair. Yeah. And it was a lot of fun, and, I mean, I don't know. There's so much everything about my childhood is so freaking confusing.
Yeah. Because everyone told me 800 different stories, but I remember it completely different.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Tina did a good job, and she does care, but it's the lengths that she went through to make sure that I would care about her is what bothers me. And is one of the things that I can't get past. And just how she used to be as a person, I can't say who she is now, because I haven't spent a whole lot of time with her, but she is infamous for guilt trips. Yeah. Very infamous for guilt trips. If she doesn't get her way, she will make you feel shitty about wanting it your way. She always, no matter what you're talking about, knows more than you and is the subject matter expert, and what she says is the only way to do it, even though going to college is probably just as good as just going to a tech school these days.
It really is.
Yeah. And that school isn't necessarily the end-all be-all anymore, seeing as public school districts are a joke.
And preparing for colleges as it is just...
Preparing for college in general is also a joke and a waste of money.
Yes, because it's the exact same as high school, just accelerated and focused on the details of the course.
Yeah.
Is exactly what it is.
Yeah, and there is no difference between college and high school.
There really isn't.
There isn't. It's
bigger classes.
Bigger classes, less one-on-one.
Yeah, now you got to pay more, and you got to pay for parking. Well, we already did that in high school, but like...
I didn't pay for parking in high school.
I didn't either, though.
I was a rebel without a cause.
I parked with the teachers. I really did, and they never said anything to me.
Dude, that's awesome. I know one year for our one senior prank, not our senior prank, but one of the senior pranks, is all of the seniors parked in a giant circle around the teacher parking lot so they couldn't get out.
Couldn't get out. Oh my god, that's so mean.
All day.
All day?
All day.
Oh my god.
They were so mad. They were threatening to tow people, but they were like, how? We parked so close to each other, you can't get a tow truck on the front of any of the cars. You couldn't tow any of the cars out. They made a nice, such a tight circle. There's no way for them to tow the cars.
Oh.
I can't remember what we did for our senior prank because I wasn't involved in it. I wasn't one of the cool kids.
Oh, me either. We weren't allowed to. They told us they'd hold our diplomas.
Yeah, they always say that.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to release 3 pigs in the school, greased up, and number them 1, 2, and 4.
And find number 3.
And there is no number 3.
Exactly.
I think, or another one of our pranks is we wanted to put a cow on the 2nd floor.
That would be funny.
Because cows can walk upstairs, but they can't walk downstairs. So you would just walk it straight upstairs, and then have to figure out how to get the cow down.
Can the elevator hold that much weight?
Yeah, but the elevator is made to fit one wheelchair and then the person who pushes it.
It's like this big.
You're not going to be able to fit a cow in there.
The cow is not fitting in this little space.
They'd have to get like a crane in there and pick this cow up and bring it down to the first floor.
They just keep letting the cow go up. Just farther up the building.
Or
onto the roof.
You just hire Elmer Fudd to give him a little thump and then slide his corpse down the stairs.
Oh my god. It's okay.
Free hamburgers at school lunch today, kids.
You want steak?
You want steak? We got steak.
Oh, that's awful.
I don't know. I just always felt like whatever I was doing, just nobody's interested in.
Exactly.
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Jeremy always had someone at every one of his wrestling meets. I think they went to maybe 2 of my plays throughout all of high school.
Really?
Not a
I
single
went to one. I remember.
Yeah, not a single show choir competition did any of them show up to. Not once. And it was literally at Central Crossing.
Right.
Nobody would show up to that. Nobody, let alone any of my traveling ones where we would go to other school districts in Ohio.
But the thing about Central is, like, their show choir is amazing. Like, everyone talks about show choir.
Well, yeah. Because we do so much with so little.
Literally, everyone's
you say that until you see Taze Valley.
Yeah.
You see Taze Valley show choir and you're like, why do we even bother competing?
Because that is wow.
Because they have like 50-some kids on stage.
Oh, so it's just like a whole...
Huge. And because they have so many kids, they have so much money. So their sets are amazing. Their band is amazing. It's bullshit. It's not even fucking fair. Right? There should be a difference. There should be like...
Plus, isn't Taze Valley like wealthier than...
Yeah.
So obviously they already got it set.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. So they're rich. They're rich. There's a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. So they don't need good dancers. You don't need to be able to sing and dance. You just need to sing or dance. Mm-hmm. They put the good dancers in front. They put the good singers in the back.
Right.
That's it. That's it. People in the front, you may not be able to sing, so just watermelon all day. Mm-hmm. Watermelon all day. Watermelon. And then the people in the back, you can't dance? Cool, we're going to give you very simple choreography. Just focus on singing.
Right.
That's it. And they've got it down. Because I know our first the first time we did a competition on the road, we show up, and the first show choir I see is Taze Valley, and they do Renegade, and they brought out scaffolding, and they had them dancing from scaffolding. They had a dude with a Bluetooth electric guitar transmitter that comes walking down the center for the guitar solo.
That's awful.
It was absolutely amazing. I just look at this and I go,
what do we have?
and we're doing fucking like 1970s throwback. Like,
Oh my god.
how am I supposed to compete with that? What the fuck is this? What is this?
This is a whole Broadway production.
Yeah, basically. And then you got us over there, and we're like, scootin' doo.
Our own production team, like,
Yeah,
we're doing this, guys.
yeah. And we've got only like 18, 22 people on
Oh
stage.
my god.
So every time someone fucks up, you're like, oh, that guy does no idea what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
That guy does know what he's doing. You got one person voice crack. Like, what was that?
Like, whoa.
Did somebody's voice crack? Oh, that's points. You're like, damn it.
Oh, someone isn't on pitch.
I knew I shouldn't have drank that Mountain Dew. And like that was my thing, because I was like the, for lack of a better term, I was the power tenor.
Mm-hmm.
Tenno.
I'm like, just smash
Warframe in my mind, yeah. I was the power tenor, so I would be the guy that you could pick me out. You'd be like, oh, there's Burt, because I would just.
I was a soprano, so you
Yeah.
could hear me. I'm just like,
As loud as I could, everything, belting the shit out of everything, because you have to in a show choir. Nobody's gonna hear you over the sound of you stomping your freaking feet.
right.
And all of our sets were like, we didn't really have sets. It was us dancing on risers. That was it, and costume changes.
Oh,
That was it. I mean, we don't have very many sets. Maybe a couple props here and there, but that was it.
right.
It was just very basic.
It's a show.
It's a show.
Cool
You
show.
know what I mean? It's focused more on the dancing and the singing, because that's what show choir is about. Not about the flash, the bazaar, how much money we have to put on scaffolding.
Let's get out this like Bluetooth guitar.
Yeah, that shit was nuts. I think I'll show you when we're done here, but they have it on YouTube, that performance. And I'll show it to you, and you're going to be like,
Wow.
what's that? Yeah, and they didn't have it like set up to where it was like, this many kids in school, you were this tier, this many kids in school, you were this tier. It was, oh, you're all Ohio? Cool. Now compete.
It's like, oh, well, see, the thing is like, this guy's obviously gonna win.
Yeah.
So, like, can we do
Can
something?
we, like, do something? No? Okay.
Alright.
But the judges, like, the judges were nice enough, and they kept that in consideration, like the size of the school and things like that, and would kind of try and even things out. And then, like, we would get a couple, like, third places, second places every once in a while. Because they would see what we're working with, and how we focused on the quality of the music and the quality of the choreography. Because we did some complicated stuff.
Right.
And we did a lot of partner dancing. So, like, we were actually dancing with each other, not just I'm up there shaking my hands, moving my ass.
Right. Watch me.
Watch me. It was a lot of fun. But, yeah, I mean, looking back at it, like, I don't know, I just felt like, maybe it was just me being an angsty teen, but I just felt like nobody cared about what I was doing in high school.
Oh, same.
And then I was just like, well, cool. Well, I'm doing all this stuff. And then, like, when Jeremy finally joined crew, what do you know? Mom and Dad made it to at least one of every single one of the theater performances.
But he was on crew.
And he was just on crew. Oh, cool. You wanted to see the set pieces Jeremy built.
No.
That's cool.
I feel that.
Yeah.
No one came to my basketball games. Mom came to one, and then Dad and Tina came to one.
I came to one.
You did?
Yeah. Jeremy and I came to one, and you started playing weird, and that's because that dude was sitting on the sidelines who liked to, like, make you feel anxious or something.
Yeah, because he would shine the little laser in my eye.
Yeah, and so Jeremy and I went over there to talk to him, and he ran away.
I was like, oh, they would piss me off with that. I don't know what it is about that school. They...
It's Grove City. It's a bunch of white people.
They just were so judgmental towards me. I don't know what I ever did to them. I'm always the nicest person when it comes to things.
Yeah, they live across the street from a cornfield, alright? There's
That's
just
true.
something in the soil that makes them racist.
Something, man. Oh, they just were so mean. I had one day, I was leaving the career academy, and he just was... I'm going down the hallway, about to go out to the teacher's lot so I can get my car. And as I'm going out, he threw something on the ground and was just laughing with his friend. And I'm like, it was like a pop can or something. And I'm like, dude, like, come on, really? Like, there's a trash can right over there, just like, And I did it just like that. And he said, oh, no, I can get some nigger to do it.
what?
Exactly. And I like looked at him and I'm like, excuse me, sir? And he's just like, you heard what I said. And I'm like, do you want me to walk back in there and talk to the teacher that's right in there and let her know what you just said?
Right.
Because do you know who I am? Do you see what color this is? This
right.
isn't... No.
It's one thing to say behind closed doors.
But no.
No, you don't say it to someone's face with the intent.
Right.
Like, oh my goodness.
You might not know that I am because I don't exactly look like I'm half black or whatnot, but like...
Really? Because
people think I'm Mexican or just anything else.
Well, yeah, mixed babies.
Yeah.
They're a rare breed, you know what I mean?
Right.
You got dance moves, but you also got good credit. Like,
right.
Like, have you seen that video where it's like a baby reveal and it's like two black people and they pop it and a bunch of white confetti comes out? He goes, "Really, Jerry?" And he like looks at the one guy at the party and he's like sipping his coffee and you hear in the background like, "Well, at least the baby will have good credit."
At least I'll have credit.
At least I'll have good credit. that video has me dying laughing because it's like literally like it's an all black family, both sides, and then you see the one white guy. He's like. I thought it was a pretty funny video.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And it's just like ever since then, like especially like here's where I feel like a lot of my anger comes from is I joined the Marine Corps, right?
Mm-hmm.
They came to the boot camp graduation.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
got to see you. Mm-hmm. That was amazing. And then they skipped MCT because I get it. It's back in South Carolina or North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They skipped. Well, the other one's in California, which doesn't really matter. Then I went to Cherry Point.
Right.
They visited once in 2 years. Once in 2 years. Right.
I went with them that time too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wait, I do remember that.
Yeah. Once in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to freaking MSG school, and they came to that graduation. Right.
I thought it was just Dad.
Well, no, Mom and Dad. And then they brought Tessa too.
Yes, they did. Okay, that was something different. Dad went to.
Jeremy wasn't there because Jeremy was at he was in the Air Force then.
Yeah.
Like well into the Air Force, probably in Korea at that point. No, he was in Japan still. Which he'll be coming on here soon. That'll be fun too. I can't wait for that.
I bet he's gonna be.
But I want to get more practice in because I have to keep him under control.
Yeah.
Because we'll be here for like 4 hours, and I don't have the space. I'll have to get a bigger thumb drive. Because we're already teetering on the max on this thumb drive here.
Are you serious?
So, like about 20 minutes, we're gonna max out.
Oh dang!
So we got about 20 minutes. But
okay.
Yeah. But like nobody would ever call on me, check on me, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was the only one who had hands that worked. Like I always had to reach out. Now obviously like Jeremy would hit me up, and all the guys that I would hit up on Xbox Live and Messenger, like all my friends and stuff. Like we all stayed in touch, but.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most everybody just was like, whatever.
Right.
And the same thing with, like, my whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the entire family. Like, nobody gave a shit.
They're like, he's off, and he's doing his
That,
thing.
but not even that. But, like, even growing up. Like, nobody gave a shit. Unless it was a birthday party.
Honestly, though, that's true.
Like, nobody gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
None of, like, I didn't, like, just go over and hang out with people. We never, like, went over and hung out with people. People never just came over and hang out. It was almost like, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm sure it has something to do with the fact that at least Dad's side of the family, there's so much fucking drama and chaos over there.
Yes.
And that the only reason they would all even bother getting in the same room together is because it was an event or something like that. Because it was Christmas. Because it's so-and-so's birthday. Mm-hmm. But, like, people don't just hang out.
Right.
And I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I just want to hang out.
That's another thing. Yeah. Like, as we get older and have kids and do family stuff.
Right.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah. I want...
Because that's what I want
my kids to have cousins that they see, that they hang out with, to go to school with, hopefully. You know?
Right.
Because I was probably only going to have one, maybe 2 kids. Right? Like, I'm not planning on fucking...
Well, I want like 6 kids. So
Jesus.
Yeah, I want a lot of kids.
Well, at least my kids don't have a lot of cousins.
Exactly.
Because knowing Jeremy's luck... Dude, I'm waiting for him to see this part and be like, really, guys?
I love you.
But yeah, No, like the whole time I was away, like nobody cared, and then of course everything's falling apart. Everybody's venting to me about their problems, and so
And you're like-
I feel obligated. Like I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna tell you about how shitty of a time I'm fucking having over here because I don't want you to worry about me on top of everything else.
Right.
And the biggest thing that I cannot forgive her for is I don't care about everything she did to me. Like whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But she was going to Dear John Dad. She had written a letter and was going to just leave to South Carolina and leave him a letter stating how she felt, where she was, and what he needed to do to fix it.
Yeah.
But she couldn't go through with it, so she gave him the letter the night before she was going to leave, and then still left.
Yeah. I didn't know she wrote a letter.
She wrote a letter, and she was planning on just leaving him a letter and leaving. And being like, if you love me, come get me. And at that point, I felt like she didn't just leave Dad, but she turned her back on us too. Because she didn't tell me she was going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't tell me anything. So to me, I just had to find out, hey, Mom moved to South Carolina, Dad's destroyed, and doesn't know what to do. And I'm like, oh, why? Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
She just had enough and left.
That's exactly what she said to me.
Couldn't stand to live in Ohio anymore and needed to get away. Couldn't stand all the family drama, couldn't stand her job, couldn't stand everything, and just left.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, but that you're a hypocrite. Because everything that you taught me about love and relationships is you guys work through it, you guys come to a decision together, like you work this shit out, you do everything together, and for you to just make a decision like that.
A huge one.
A huge one, which wasn't like, oh, I'm leaving you. It's, I'm leaving. If you love me, come with me. Like, that's not how that works. You didn't discuss this. You didn't try and convince him. It's not like you were like, we should move. And he was like, no. And then you were like, well, I'm moving, and if you love me, come get me. That I would understand.
Right.
But it was, I'm not going to talk about my feelings. I'm not going to talk about my feelings. I'm going to let this destroy me because I don't love you enough to express myself to you. I don't trust you enough to express myself to you. I'm leaving. Bye. If you love me, come get me. And left him to sort out everything. And because of that, all the stuff that I left at home just got thrown away. All of my stuff got thrown away. I can't rely on them for anything now. I don't trust them for anything because they don't care. They've shown that to me time and time again that they don't care. That all they care about is themselves. So have fun with yourselves. Stop trying to ask me to go out of my way for you when you guys you've shown time and time again you don't care about me. My entire life, I felt like you guys have you had a responsibility and you did it. And you did it well. Thank you. But if you want to say that like you genuinely cared, you haven't. You guys have used me as a weapon against other people, and then when it came down for me to just don't fall apart while I'm gone, and give me a base to lean on while I'm over there dealing with everything else. And you guys have failed, not you guys, but them, have failed at all of it. All of it. So my whole life you guys have raised me up. Family, this, you can always rely on us. We're always here. And every time that I've needed you guys, they haven't been there. Every time. Every time they have either turned their back on me or they've been going through their own shit and haven't gotten their shit together yet. And they expect me to be able to rely on them when they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Mm-hmm. So I've had to figure everything out. And then now they're like the other day she posted that thing.
I see.
Yeah.
I was like, who upset her today?
She was so pissed. She's like, you got something to say, you need to say it. And it just like came at me hard. And I was like, first off, I was actually just kidding.
I felt that. Because I seen it, I was like, ooh.
Because you used to tell me all the time, I'd be like, hey, I need this. And you'd be like, hey, well, why don't you shit in one hand and wish in the other and see what you get? Because that was my whole childhood.
Oh my god.
You're like, oh, I really want this. Like, well, then get a job.
Yep.
Oh, I really want this. Well, you better be a good boy. Maybe Santa will bring it to you in like 7 months. Or just straight up like, no. You can't have that. Mm-hmm. Like, why can't I have this? Because I said so. That always drove me nuts. And then, like, the other thing, too, is, like, she would limit my video games. They both would. And they act like TV was better for me than video games. Which makes no sense. She would let Jeremy sit all day watching TV and wouldn't say anything. But I play video games for more than 3 hours a day, and it's the end of the fucking world.
But you're engaging your brain.
Yeah, exactly. I'm problem solving. I'm actually socializing with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it didn't make any sense. And then the other thing, too, is I'm kind of upset with Dad a little bit as well.
What do you do?
Because just as Tina's guilty for not reaching out and communicating with me, so is he.
Mm-hmm.
And I even gave him an Xbox One so that way he and I can connect while I'm gone.
Mm.
And he never turned it on once to play video games with me. He used it as a DVD player. And I gave him Xbox Live and access to my entire game library. He had no excuse other than he just didn't care.
Yeah.
Didn't want to put forth the effort. Wasn't worth it. So, they're all acting surprised, but I'm just like you. I'm tired of pretending.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much effort.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, you guys have shown me that you don't care, so why should I? I don't care anymore. So if you guys want to reconnect with me, start putting forth some fucking effort into our relationship. Otherwise, I'm done wasting my time. You guys decided to move away, so you should be the ones putting forth the effort. I don't know why I have to come visit you for every holiday. Last I checked, both of you make more money than Brittany and I combined, so why the fuck aren't you guys coming to visit me? Made the offer multiple times, but you decided to go sleep on a friend's couch rather than mine. Yeah. So, if you want to know why I don't care anymore, it's because you guys don't care, and I'm just done pretending to be the only one that cares anymore. I'm pretending like you do. So, I hope you've made it this far. I don't want the podcast to be a message to Mom and Dad, but ta-da, if you made it this far.
Hi.
But yeah, so there's that, and I'm just done putting forth effort into people who don't care, because I'm trying to get my little family here started, and like, if you guys want to be a part of that, then start putting forth some fucking effort.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, I'm not going to struggle to keep you guys a part of my life just so you can be a part of my life, if that makes any sense. Because the only reason I'm doing it is so that way you guys can be a part of it. Because that's what you guys want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because versus what you want and what you... Like, why would you want to go out of your way every single time?
Right.
And just try to make that point.
Right.
It's just...
Yeah, it sucks. Because, like, I have friends who I've known not nearly as long as them, who I would trust with 1,000 more things. Wow. Which is great.
Yeah.
Because there's some people who have parents they can't trust and have friends they don't trust.
Yeah.
I at least have friends.
Yeah.
And I've got you and I've got Jeremy.
Yeah, honestly, I have you and Jeremy. Yeah. I mean, like, I have friends...
Right. You have friends.
I have friends.
But you don't have
love them.
Friends that you can trust with everything. I have, thankfully, a plethora of great friends that I trust with many things.
Mm.
You've got Zach, you've got Ryan, you've got Bryce, you've got Bubby, you've got Jeff, you've got Travis. Even though I talk shit about him all the time, but he knows I love him.
DJ.
Yeah, DJ. Obviously, he lives with us, and he loves living with us. I know we drive him nuts sometimes, but he likes it here. He likes the fact that we love him, and he even the other day when we got off the phone, he said, "Love you, Bob." I said, "Love you too."
Oh.
Yeah. So, is there anything that
left unsaid?
Yeah. Is there anything you have left unsaid?
Honestly, no. I feel like we talked about a lot.
We did, and I knew this was going to be an emotional podcast.
Oh yeah, and that's still just surface.
Yeah,
that's just like there's so much.
I feel like this is going to be a returning segment.
Honestly, our childhood alone, like, we could talk for hours.
My goodness, yeah. Well, I don't know, anything else you want to say? I mean, I will finish with this. If they've made it this far and they haven't clicked off, I still love both of you. And I'm still grateful for everything that you guys have done for me in my childhood. But I'm done wasting my time trying to make you guys care. I've spent my whole life trying to make you guys care in a way that makes me feel like you care. I know that you guys may have been showing affection in the way that you feel like you should show affection, but I'm not getting the message. So try something else. It's basically all it comes down to.
Right.
I'm not saying that you guys don't care. I'm not saying that you guys did use me. I'm saying this is how I feel. And that's how I've always felt. And so it's time that you guys change, because I'm tired of being the only person trying.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
I know, it's such an emotional podcast.
It's doing good, though.
I know, but yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
My goodness, I did too.
It was good. I felt good to talk about
it's
it.
such a dark podcast.
It is.
This is going to be so dark.
Hi, welcome to our life.
Yes. And they wonder why, like, our generation grows up with crippling depression.
Literally, and like, I have so much anxiety. Like, I'm always like worried. I'm like, well, did this? I'm like, calm down. It's fine. It's good.
I wonder where. Okay, I did want to ask you that. In your opinion, why do you think so many people between the ages of, I'd probably say about 17 to my age of like 28 to 30, why are all of us depressed?
Because we're overworked, underpaid, and our childhood and like from where we came from, like most of us struggled. Our parents didn't exactly have the best of everything. Mm-hmm. So now we're already at a disadvantage compared to other people who have advantages. Well, the people that have advantages don't realize the advantages that they have. So they don't use them, or they don't take them to the fullest extent. And then they realize later on in life, shit, I could have done a lot more, and now I feel like a little piece of shit because my little ass back here didn't do shit, and all these people over here that didn't have shit are now trying to get to the place where I should have been, and now I feel bad. But these people have been feeling bad for so long because they've been working so hard to get to where they are.
Right.
It's just this constant little mesh of just back and forth.
So, my next question, and then the final question of this podcast. For your possible 6 future children,
Yes.
how would you do it differently?
How would I do it differently?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would want to focus on them. I want to take... Because obviously I have things going on in my life. Mm-hmm. But that's, again, apart from me. Because they never lived in a life without me.
Right.
So I want to be that person, that like beacon of light in their life that they can run to, that they can have that comfort in. And I just want them to know that you are a part of this. You are meant to be here. And I just want you to do the best that you can. And if it's not to the fullest extent of which I have expectations for, cool, fine. Just do what makes you happy. I just want my kids to be happy and just be healthy as much as they can. Considering all of my medical stuff, but
right, yeah, they're not yeah, but that's okay.
But yeah,
that's another thing that we can get into too.
Yeah, I realized I'm like I didn't even talk about any of that. We
didn't talk about that at all. Yeah, well, obviously we will be returning to this another day. That's all it sounds like. Sounds like we'll have to pick another weekend coming up and continue from there.
Alrighty, yay.
Well, thanks for watching. We did not have our 1 hour bathroom break on this podcast, so you have broken the trend. For the first 2 podcasts on 1 hour, they've had to go to the bathroom.
So I peed before.
Yeah, see? Wicked smart. For now on, my guests are going to be forced to know. Just kidding.
Before you even click that start button.
All right, well, that's the end of podcast 3. Thank you guys for making it this far. Do you have anything you want to say before you head out?
Thanks for having me. It's been real. I love you. I love this family
I love you too.
as much as it's
yeah.
crazy.
As much as we're still grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still appreciate everything everyone's done. I appreciate everybody that's here, and I know that it sounds like we're just bitching about everything, but
but it's also like it's what our experience, what we went through, and we're awesome now.
Yeah.
So I feel like
we lived. We're doing good.
We're doing okay.
Yeah, we're all right now, but it's just it's nice to talk about these things because if you don't, it just haunts you.
Exactly.
It's nice to let it out and be like, oh, like I feel great right now.
I know, like the blanket is just like light on my shoulders. I'm like, okay, now I can like do stuff.
Yeah, like I feel like I can be productive today.
We have Thanksgiving today.
Yeah, we do, which starts in an hour, so we should be able to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take a shower, put on some decent clothes. All right, well, we're gonna get ready for Thanksgiving dinner over at Zach and Haley's, but thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day and be good at it.
Right?